Welcome back. Zainab Merchant is a graduate student at Harvard University in journalism and international security. She's also the author of 2 children's books. We sit down with her to talk about her latest book, To Be a Muslim. Zainab, I'm so excited to finally meet you. Thank you for being on our show.
Thank you for having me here.
Now, you've written this new book, To Be a Muslim. What's the best part about being a Muslim, a children's book author?
I think for me, a big challenge in life was to connect with children. I think it's more difficult actually than it seems. When you think of children's authors, you think, oh, it's such an easy task, right, to write for children.
It's
but
not.
It's really not. It's really difficult to, and I think it was for me more of a challenge and that I wanted to overcome personally. So a lot of the work that I do and write about is very difficult. It's research-oriented, especially at Harvard. You write all these, thesis papers, and it's a very academic. And for me, I wanted to write books, not just for children, but because I know children are our future. And a lot of what they learn and I learned when I was a child affects me till today. So I wanted to write for that, and I think it's a very special feeling to be able to create something where, this book in particular, I had to have 7 revisions. My publisher was like, oh, this is too hard, this word is too hard. And I still think some words are difficult in there for children to connect with, but I just tell everyone, it's better vocabulary for kids. So yeah, it's difficult, and I like the challenge.
How did you get interested in writing books for kids?
I've always been interested in writing. I wrote since at a young age. I had my own newspaper when I was 13 out of my garage. I started it one fine summer when my mom didn't let us do anything with the media or TV.
You were bored.
I was bored, yes. The best things come out of boredom.
Exactly.
So I started that, and I realized I really enjoyed storytelling. And a lot of my life, I tend to live in my own kind of world. A lot of people say I'm too idealistic or unrealistic, and I said, you know what, I'm going to explore that part of me in more greater detail because I want my world and my reality to match my dreams. And that is what a lot of the values of this book not only reflect our values as Muslims, and that's a central theme in all my books, is to depict the true values of Islam. And I think that's what a lot of people have misconceptions about today. But it's also to live in this ideal world, because that's what Islam teaches us, is to strive for the ideal.
I noticed you have 2 very different books. So Princess Diana's Pen is more like a fairy tale, a fantasy book, and now here, To Be a Muslim is a poem, essentially a long poem.
Yeah.
So why the 2 different genres? How did that decision come about?
So the first book, I always knew that if I was to write a book, it would be about the essence of Islam, which is our connection to God. Oftentimes we kind of get lost in the laws and, the physical acts that we forget the heart. And if you know me, I'm all about the heart. And for me, it's very important to connect with the essence of something rather than just what it appears to be. And so the first book was all about our connection to God, and it took a very tangled Disney-esque version of a tale. And I wanted to give our children, a really high-quality story that can be rivaled with, even with the illustrations that you see. It took us 2 years to produce that. And it's a really high-quality book. It's a fairy tale, like you said, but it's very much where instead of the prince that comes to save the day, you have this strong, fearless female character who is really falling in love with God throughout the journey. So I thought that was really fun to explore. And then this one was more about, the current state of the world, the Islamophobia that we all face. And I felt like doing something where our children could be proud of their identity and also learn about the values and our tenets of our faith.
So I feel like there's a strong goal that you're trying to achieve within each book.
Yeah.
There's a purpose to it.
Yes.
So which one's
true.
your favorite? You have two, Princess Sienna's pen and this one to be a Muslim.
My next one is my favorite.
Your
That's
next
what
one is
I
your
say.
favorite. Oh,
I feel
that's a
like
diplomatic answer.
every one that I write has its own special place in my heart. I think, you know, when an author gets the book in their hands, you know, they go through all the pages. A very emotional moment to see. It's like as if you have
It's your
a
baby,
baby.
kind of,
It's like a
yes?
baby is born. So it's like asking a mom to pick which child is their favorite. You can't. Each one is different. Each one is beautiful. And I'm very excited about the next one, which I don't know what it's going to be about, but I know it's going to be amazing.
That's a nice thought.
Like,
So what do
you're
your
too
children?
confident.
Yes, very confident. So what do your children think about your books?
They love them. I think they're my best.
Your fans?
My best fans and my best, I guess I get the most criticism from them. And they're the ones who actually, you know, revise my book without them knowing it. So I give it to them, I read it to them, I see how they interact with it. And it really helps to have children around you to write for children, because you have to kind of get into their thought process and see, are they interested by this? Are they bored by it? Do they connect? So one part of this book is there are hidden hearts everywhere. And children love that. You know, they love to find the little missing things, and it keeps them interested. So I love it. Like the other day, I took a video of my son read. I snuck up on him, and he's reading it to himself. He doesn't know what he's saying. But it melts your heart when you see that, and you see that they're connecting with your book. I think that means the world to me, because I wanted to give them, I mean, your children are always your first inspiration and your motivation, so they keep me going.
Do you feel like your stories, the ones that you've written, are colored by your personal experiences, maybe your history, your childhood?
Yeah. So the first book has a lot of similarities with me. I grew up without a father as well. My dad passed away when I was a baby. And so, you know, she grows up, of course I had my mom, but she grows up in this orphanage, and I felt like I could connect more with the character. And with this book and all my upcoming books, I do think it's going to be shaped by my own experiences. You know, I grew up in the post 9/11 era, especially in America, in Texas. And so you have all of these, you know, themes and the bullying and the loneliness, and, you know, I just started wearing the hijab then as well. And then the teachers, and it's you know, the things that children are experiencing today in the world is something that I've experienced firsthand, and it's a sad situation, and that's what I'm here to do, inshallah, with my humble contributions. I hope to make our children be proud of their identity, because our faith really does give us so much.
What other themes do you hope to explore in your writing? You talked about identity.
Identity, faith. I think my books for myself are a personal journey as well. Eventually, after I graduate from university, that does take a lot of my time. I do want to get into novel writing and chapter books. In my lifetime, when I was young, Famous Five, Goosebumps, all these books as well, the short chapter books had an impact in my life. And I want to give, you know, faith and adventure shouldn't be exclusive. I think it does intertwine, and I want to explore adventure, faith, family, love, all these themes, but under the umbrella of faith, because that is what defines me.
So you think that writing is something that you want to pursue full time after you're finished your studies?
Yeah,
hopefully?
I do think so. I'm in the process of starting a company called Chipakli. It's a recent, I guess, interest that I have to portray a knowledge and information through the art of creative animation. So I've been learning more about that. I used to have my own company that focused more on creating short films. So I do have that creative side to me where I do want to go into more animation work. But yes, I do want to continue writing, especially for Islam.
So what's next for you? You hinted at other books coming up. So can you give us an idea of what you're working on now?
I have 3 books that I want to, 3 more children's books. It's like getting out of my system. But I have 3 books that I really want to write about to convey a certain idea. The first one is called Binocular Man. It's going to be about a kid. Is that giving too much away?
No, tell me, I want to hear.
No, is it giving too much away? It's Binocular Man, and basically, in short synopsis, the child gets to see people's problems through special binoculars. So it's more about empathy. And then the other book is, I haven't thought of the name yet, but it's about a character learning how to wash his heart through a car wash. So it's all about exploring the purity of the heart. And yeah, I'll leave it at that. I'll leave the rest to your surprise. So.
Yes. So tell me where we can buy your books if anyone's interested in buying your book.
So my first one is at Barnes & Noble's. It's on my publisher's website as well as on Amazon and major bookstores. And the new one, To Be a Muslim, you can find it at your nearest Muslim lifestyle store, Amazon, eBay, and yeah, the publisher's
I've seen both of
website.
them on Amazon, so
Yeah.
you know, Amazon, the
Amazon
Canadian
is,
site. So
exactly,
that might be the best way
Yeah.
to get it. Thank you so much for appearing on our show,
Thank
Zainab. I
you.
really
Thank
appreciate
you
it,
for
and I wish you
having
the
me.
best for
Thank
your in terms of your future writing.
Thank you so
Hopefully,
much.
we'll hear about it again on the show.
Inshallah, you will.
Hey YouTube, we hope you benefited from this video. If you liked it, or if you didn't, let us know in the comments below. And if you're interested in learning more, check out some of our other videos. And don't forget to subscribe so you can get new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.